Hello and welcome to the Kayden Show, today's best country mix. Joining me right here today is KTG. How's it going, Katie?
It's going great. Thank you so much for having me.
It is my pleasure. So why don't we get started by getting to know you a little bit and how you got started in music?
So I am, as you can tell by my very thick Irish accent, I am Irish, and I am from the centre of Ireland, in the little town in the middle of it. And I have been playing music. Oh God, I think I started professionally at 18, which was a really good time for me. And I was very lucky because obviously my family are very supportive. But the thing was I had to have a real career. So I'm a teacher in my real life job as a teacher, a music teacher. And I love it, but I love the music as well. And I think my music, I would like to say we finally have settled in that folky country vibe. I hope anyway. You never know. I change my own way so many times. But and I'm trying to think. I always panic on these questions. I'm like, who actually am I? Who am I as a person? But I like to think that I hopefully will have the new album coming out in the summertime. That was the worst put sentence I've ever put in my life, but you get what I'm saying.
If someone was to write a song about you, what do you think that they would take the time to write about?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. I actually don't know. I would hope it probably would be something about the fact that I just don't sit still, probably. Um, I think that probably would be where the vibes we would be going on. I would love to think of somebody writing about me as somebody who's good crack and or who's fun and who's really good to be around. But I don't know. I don't want to give myself a big head here now when I say that.
What advice would you give somebody that might want to start doing music?
I would definitely say develop a thick skin, which is something I haven't done yet. I'm very wear my heart on my sleeve a lot. And it's kind of an oxymoron because you want to be really tough in an industry like music. Now, having said that, I'm not anywhere near as where I want to be in terms of, and I know when the higher you go up on the ladder, the harder it's going to get. And I totally understand that. But for me anyway, I've been very lucky. But there have been times where people have said mean things or something, and it's just you want to be tough, but obviously being sensitive is where it gets you into the music. So definitely try and take everything with a pinch of salt, but don't give up as well. And definitely after COVID, I had fallen into the trap of being like, do I really want to do this or not? So I'm glad that I'm finally back on track again.
Do you have any upcoming singles or projects you want to tell us a little bit about?
Yes, so I have obviously, and thank you so much for listening and support the new single that was out. It was a few weeks ago called Empty Hallways. That was the newest single and the first of 2023. And then in the summertime, I'll have my second album coming out, which is called The Long Road Home. So my first album was a concept album based on I don't know if you have it, if you've heard of it before, but for the Magpies, the one for sorrow, two for joy. Have you heard of that before? It's a real, I think it's an Irish like wives' tale where if you see one magpie or one swallow by themselves, you have to give them a salute. And then if you see two of them together, it's good luck. But anyway, the whole idea of the album was based around that little rhyme. But this new album, it took 4 years in the making because obviously COVID happened in the middle of it.
Hmm.
So it's definitely been a long road home because I've definitely been trying to it's kind of my journey through all the different experimental genres that I've gone through and finally settled in where Empty Hallways is at the moment and going from there. So that will be out in the summertime. The summer has been, I was meant to go work abroad in Europe for the summer, but I've decided to stay at home and push this album like no tomorrow. So hopefully it will go well. We'll cross our fingers and live in hope.
For sure, for sure. What do you like doing outside of music? Do you have any hobbies, interests, anything like that?
So music definitely takes over a lot, but I'm a very, very proud dog mom. My life revolves around my Cocker Spaniel Albert. I'm surprised he's not up here at the moment in the room waiting to see what's going on. But I I got Albert. Sorry, he's a real human name. It's a really strange name for a Cocker Spaniel, but anyway, he came after lockdown, and definitely thanks to him, he got me out in nature a lot more. I love going for hikes and going exploring and traveling, and definitely in Ireland I didn't realize how much we had until I actually had to go out and go for the walks with the dog. Now, I know Ireland being so small compared to other countries, but there is a lot that I hadn't seen before. So I was really interested in that. And then definitely one thing that I'm starting to get really, really interested in, even though if you looked at my own social medias, you probably wouldn't be able to tell, I'm very interested in social media marketing and getting to learn all about that stuff, and YouTube and TikToks and all that, just to watch the algorithms and stuff and seeing the science kind of behind it. So that's kind of taken over my life for a while. I've gone down a dark rabbit hole of algorithms and what's trending and all that crack.
If it wasn't for music, what do you think you'd be doing? Like, if music wasn't an option for you, where would you be? What would you be doing? And what career path would you go down?
That's such a good question. I always wanted to be a teacher. Definitely always wanted to be a teacher. But there was a time where I was watching The Good Wife, that program about the lawyer. I would want to do law for a very, very long time because I love to argue. And obviously there's more to being a lawyer or anyone in the justice system than just arguing. But I would love to have gone down that route maybe. But I think definitely teaching was always something I wanted to do and something I felt I was happy to do. But having been in the teaching world for this might be my 4th year teaching after college, I would love to actually go into psychology and therapy and the counseling route as well. Maybe in another lifetime, who knows? Who knows where next year will bring me, but that would be definitely something I'd love to go into.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely very interesting that you said a lawyer, and you kind of went from a lawyer to a teacher. Was there a specific subject that you wanted to teach if you had an opportunity to, other than music?
History was my favorite subject apart from music, and it's always been a lasting regret of mine that I didn't actually do history as well as music, because I just loved. I think it probably is just goes back to the music again, like telling the stories and the stories of the past. And my students actually, they dread seeing me come in with history of music
Hmm.
because they're like, oh God, here she goes, she's gonna nerd out again, or whatever you want to call it. And I just love looking back and investigating those things. Sorry, I probably am sounding a bit like a real like bookworm or something, but it's just that's my thing.
So I understand, Katie, that you wanted to play one of your songs for us. Tell us a little bit about that song.
So Empty Hallways is the new single, and it I think it was actually a song that came with me throughout the whole of COVID. I had the melody for it before COVID started, and I hadn't got any words for it. And then I fell out of love with music for a while during COVID, as a lot of musicians did. It was very hard to keep going with things. Um and then I finally finished it at the end of our lockdown in Ireland. But I definitely feel that it's a song where some people have taken it in different ways. Some people have taken it as a relationship. Some people have taken it as saying goodbye to a toxic environment after, like, if you, for some people who had to stay in a home. It's actually funny when you play the song and different people come to you with different stories. But for me personally, it was a song about I went into not a dark place, obviously, because I know so many people had such difficult situations during COVID, and I was very lucky during it that I was in I was in a stable environment. I was working online, I was keeping busy. But definitely there was a time where my mind kind of was like, I just kind of was at the point where I was like, Jeannie Mac, would you just, all these bad thoughts just go away, pack up, off you go. I'm not even going to watch you when you're going. And that's where the song came from. So it is a bit sad, but I like to think of it in a positive sense, that there was light at the end of the tunnel, and God willing, or whoever's up there in the universe, it will never happen again. That this intense lockdown will happen again. Hopefully not. But anyway, this is Empty Hallways, and hopefully, if you have a new story, if you're listening and there's a different story that you found, I'd love to hear it. So please share it with me if you can. Empty hallways hold the most whispers. Packed rooms hold nothing at all. And in my mind there is a heavy stone. my mind retaining nothing at all. So pull me in and spit me out like only you know how. Been searching for some bravery, some faith, I need it now. But you know where this goes when there's nobody home, but the lights are on. And tell me when you're leaving, so I can watch you go. And tell me when you find somewhere to call your own. And tell me when you find someone who feels like home. Just don't forget to tell me. Just don't forget to tell me. We knew it wouldn't last when it all kicked in. Throwing stones in glass houses we made. So pull me in and spit me out like only you know how. Been searching for some bravery, some faith, I need it now. But you know where this goes when there's nobody home, but the lights are on. And tell me when you're leaving, so I can watch you go. And tell me when you find somewhere to call your own. And tell me when you find someone who feels like home. Just don't forget to tell me. So pull me in and spit me out like only you know how. Been searching for some bravery, some faith, I need it now. But you know where this goes when there's nobody home, but the lights are on. And tell me when you're leaving, I won't even watch you go. And tell me when you find someone to call your own. And tell me when you find someone who feels like home. Just don't forget to tell me. Don't forget to tell me. Me.
What a great performance there, Katie. Thanks so much for that.
Thank you so much for letting me play. It's nice to play live again.
For sure, for sure. So, if people want to learn more about you, where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Now, Instagram and Facebook is KTGIRE, because my label that I'm signed with have told me I need to get rid of the. I used to have a the KTGIRE, but I had to get rid of it because it was too confusing for everyone. But the TikTok, unfortunately, is still at the KTGIRE. So if you look up KTG music, it should be up there, and you'll see my face in a forest. All my pictures are in the forests, I think. It looks a bit ominous, but it's my vibe.
And Katie, is there anything that I forgot to mention that you would like to mention today?
No, well, thank you so much again for the time. I really appreciate it. And I've just been so overblown, overblown? No, blown over, excuse me, with the support for the song. So I really do appreciate the time. And I thank you so much again for fitting me into your schedule.
KTG, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the Katie Gordon Show today's Best Country Mix. We definitely appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much.